Virgo zodiac sign. Virgo horoscope element. Earth color, gray, beige, pale yellow. Quality, mutable day. Wednesday ruler. Mercury. Greatest overall compatibility. Pisces, Cancer. Lucky numbers 5, 14, 15, 23, 32. Date range: August 23rd to September 22nd. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. Virgo traits. Strengths: loyal, analytical, kind, hardworking, practical. Weaknesses: shyness, worry, overly critical of self and others, all work and no play. Virgo likes animals, healthy food, books, nature, cleanliness. Virgo dislikes rudeness, asking for help, taking center stage. Virgos are always paying attention to the smallest details, and their deep sense of humanity makes them one of the most careful signs of the zodiac. Their methodical approach to life ensures that nothing is left to chance, and although they are often tender, their heart might be closed for the outer world. This is a sign often misunderstood, not because they lack the ability to express, but because they won't accept their feelings as valid, true, or even relevant when opposed to reason. The symbolism behind the name speaks well of their nature, born with a feeling they are experiencing everything for the first time. Virgo is an earth sign, fitting perfectly between Taurus and Capricorn. This will lead to a strong character, but one that prefers conservative, well-organized things and a lot of practicality in their everyday life. These individuals have an organized life, and even when they let go to chaos, their goals and dreams still have strictly defined borders in their mind. Constantly worried that they missed a detail that will be impossible to fix, they can get stuck in details, becoming overly critical and concerned about matters that nobody else seems to care much about. Since Mercury is the ruling planet of this sign, its representatives have a well-developed sense of speech and writing, as well as all other forms of communication. Many Virgos may choose to pursue a career as writers, journalists, and typists, but their need to serve others makes them feel good as caregivers, on a clear mission to help. Virgo, the disappointed goddess seeking goodness in humankind, is the story of Virgo, and disappointment seems to be inevitable from their point of view. The first time they came from their cloud and jumped onto planet Earth, it felt like their mission is to use their existence for good, discovering ways of justice and purity in other people. Once they fail to find it too many times, Virgos will pull away, get lost, turn to substance abuse, or simply separate from other people to sit on the bench, criticize and judge. Virgo love and sex. The sign of Virgo leads Venus to its tragic fall and speaks of one's inability to feel worthy, beautiful, or lovable. Compatibility of Virgo with other zodiac signs is mostly based on the ability of their partner to give them all the love they need to start feeling safe and open up enough to show their soft, vulnerable heart. They will rarely have direct statements of love, but intimacy brings out all of the beauty of their emotional self-expression. A Virgo will prefer a stable relationship than having fun, casual lovers, except if they become one, using their charm and superficial communication to win hearts without ever investing their own. Methodical and intellectually dominant, each Virgo seems to have an equation in their mind that their partner has to follow. They will rarely have many sexual experiences with different people, for they need to feel important to someone and find real physical pleasure in order to give their whole self to someone. The sign of Virgo is easily attached to the symbolism of a virgin, but the truth is their quality is mutable, and their need for change often overcomes their self-imposed restrictions and moral boundaries when it comes to sex. Trust needs to be built with Virgo, slowly, steadily and patiently, and each partner they have in life has a chance to be nurtured and cared for, but only if they give enough to deserve special treatment of Virgo. Find their right match using the compatibility tool below. Virgo friends and family. Friends. Virgos are excellent advisors, always knowing how to solve a problem. This can make them helpful and extremely useful to have around, but also brings out their need to search the problem in everything and everyone around them. They will care for people they build a solid relationship with, treasuring them for years and nurturing them in every possible way. An intimate friendship with a Virgo is always earned by good deeds. Family. People born with their sun in Virgo are very dedicated to their family and attentive to elderly and sick people. They understand tradition and the importance of responsibility, proud of their upbringing and everything that made their mind be as dominant as it is. Virgo career and money. Virgos are practical, analytical and hardworking, always knowing exactly where to look for the core of any problem. Their methodology makes them shine at jobs that require good organization, dealing with paperwork, problem solving and working with their minds and their hands. When they focus, perfection is to be expected from their work, for no other sign has such an eye for details as Virgo. In love with books and artistic expression, they make good critics, while their need to help humankind serves them best if they decide to become doctors, nurses or psychologists. Virgo stands for all practical and used things, and it is in the nature of these individuals to save money and always put something on the side. They will see irrational spending as a bad habit or a matter of being spoiled, and always hold on to practical solutions that don't cost much. Unfortunately, this approach can sometimes make them a bit cheap and too concerned about everything they might lack tomorrow. They need to learn to indulge in some hedonism too. How to attract the Virgo man? To seduce a Virgo man, one must respect his need for cleanliness and order. In most cases he enters romance slowly, carefully, and likes to take his time getting to know a person before start analyzing anything serious. When he receives information on what to expect, his partner has to be sure to deliver nothing less. A Virgo man might put up a cool front, but don't let him fool you. He has deep and sensual needs, and only if his partner is patient enough, able to withstand his tendency to overanalyze everything, he will eventually warm up. It takes obvious and hard work to sweep a Virgo man off his feet. He needs a partner to inspire, remind him of his own talents, and will often find such a person in platonic and completely irrational spheres. In search for someone honest, patient and tidy, he is always ready to settle down with the right person for a very long time. How to attract the Virgo woman? A Virgo personality is a mix of intelligence, attention to detail, common sense, and commitment, and a woman born with her in this sign is very smart, modest, and capable. Trying to seduce this woman can seem intimidating at first, is likely to put on a facade of indifference. However, she is not cold but practical, realistic and cautious when it comes to starting new relationships. She will never simply give herself to someone without assessing their character and emotions shared with her from the beginning. She doesn't, under no circumstances, fall under a category of spoiled, materialistic women. As all earth signs, she will enjoy the material world and see any gift she gets as a blessing, but still truly enjoy things only when they are extremely practical and easy to use, digest, or when in need of fixing. Attracted to intelligent but distant personalities, a Virgo woman has a strong capacity to love, but chooses to wait for sharing emotions until she is ready. Private and defensive, this is someone who needs her defense mechanisms respected but still broken by the right partner. Virgo woman in love. When Virgo woman falls in love, she will probably get scared at first. If this happens outside of a relationship, she will probably be so shy that it will become impossible for her to start a relationship at all. She likes to be swept off her feet by a partner who makes the first move. This allows her to feel attractive and feminine. Some of Virgo women are able to rationalize things to the point where they can approach anyone or at least flirt, but they will often not end up in a long-term relationship with a partner she was direct with. She has to fall in love with someone stronger, more confident and more protective than she is. Virgo woman sexuality. This is a sign where Venus falls, and this woman isn't aware of her sensual nature and her sexuality. This is the exact thing that can be attractive to some of her partners, but anyone who wants to be in a sexual relationship with this woman needs to understand that she needs a lot of time to relax and become intimate with her partner. She will never discuss her sex life with other people and she will slowly get into the game of sex, only through emotional contact or by a clear decision of rational mind, never on an impulse. Virgo woman in relationships. She will clean your house, cook your lunch, take care of your children, carry your suitcases and fix everything in your life with ease, unless you stop her. Please stop her. She doesn't have to do everything on her own, all the time, but she doesn't seem to understand this. Out of her need to help, she might make her partner feel incompetent or even stupid, and she really needs to be careful not to cross the line in criticizing or contempt. She needs to accept that perfectionism isn't her best trait and that it keeps her from being happy about imperfect things in her life, which are, well, all of them. Can you trust your Virgo woman as if she was an entirely different sign from a Virgo man? Virgo woman can be trusted 100%. She is too smart and too loyal to give in to adultery, and her morality and shy nature probably won't allow it to begin with. The only thing you cannot trust is her silence, for when she decides not to speak she becomes distant and dangerous in her decisions. She doesn't need anyone in her life, but she will often compromise and sacrifice in order to hold on to the partner she loves. This can trick anyone's sense of gratitude, for this is the easiest of all zodiac signs to take for granted. Dating Virgo woman, she will want someone to calmly ask her out, and at the beginning of the relationship, she will mostly enjoy the usual going out routine. Her partner is supposed to take her to a fine restaurant, for a walk in the park, and out dancing. She will not tolerate any sort of aggression or pushiness, at least until she develops deeper feelings and gets tied to her partner by things she thinks she can fix. She wants to go out to clean places, and you will rarely want to take a Virgo woman to an underground club where she will drink beer out of plastic cups. Although she will understand the inexpensive and the relaxed nature of this type of place, she will rarely feel good in an environment in which everything smells of stale beer. Understanding your Virgo woman. There is a reason why Virgo is a sign often described as a manic cleaner. This obsession with cleaning can be projected to all activities of a Virgo woman. She wants to clean the world of evil as much as she wants to clean her teeth or the bathtub. The most important thing this woman has to face is the search for faith, belief that she is better than she thinks she is. In most cases she is raised to not be fully aware of her beauty, goodness or value. Still, the faith in the beauty of the world and in her own fairy tale will pull her with a strange gravity until she finds them. The worst thing a Virgo woman can do is settle for her rational choices, for she has the capacity for perfection in all areas of her life. Virgo woman likes and dislikes. She is caring, modest and loyal, able to fix anything that is broken, including a broken heart. This is a woman that wants to help and get involved in her partner's life so they can build a better life and be happier together. Unfortunately, she can get carried away and imagine that she knows best what is good for other people. Her kindness and support can reach the point of insult where her partners might ask themselves if she thinks they are incompetent to do anything on their own. How to choose a gift for your Virgo woman. When it comes to usual, expected events such as birthdays and anniversaries, don't ever forget them. Buy a gift that is practical and can be used. Whether it is a piece of clothing with the appropriate message written on it or some kitchenware, her present needs to be in sync with her tidy personality. If you want to surprise her, write her a poem. She will enjoy some verses dedicated to her, and a love letter will always melt her heart. Don't forget to check it for grammatical errors though. In most Virgo women, there is a hidden love for all sorts of art, and she might truly treasure a fine, discreet painting, or a sculpture that represents a certain message. The history of Virgo. Virgo is a sign separate from the constellation of Virgo, and most of the stars from this constellation are currently in the sign of Libra. In the zodiac, the sign of Virgo is set between Leo and Libra, taking the 630 degrees of the zodiacal circle. Virgo is a mutable sign, announcing the autumn to come. This makes it quite depressing in its changeable nature, for it represents the change between the sunny summer and the presumably rainy autumn when everything dies down. To add to it, Virgo is a predecessor of Libra, the sign in which the sun sets. This constellation was found in Babylonian astronomy, dating back from approximately 1000 to 700 BC. It was known as the furrow, representing goddess Shala's ear of grain, and an important star in this constellation, Spica, is Latin for ear of grain. This gives the image of hard work that gives results. Virgo is often depicted as a woman holding wheat in her hand. The myth of Virgo. The constellation of Virgo was often linked to Greek and Roman goddesses of agriculture, Demeters and Ceres. Still, the primal connection of ancient Greeks connected this constellation to Astraea, the celestial virgin, who was the last immortal to live with humans during the Golden Age, one of the 5 deteriorating ages of man. She abandoned the human race and left the earth to flee from the wickedness of humanity. The more intense myth linked with this constellation is the one of Aragon, daughter of Icarus. Icarus got killed by shepherds because they got drunk on his wine and thought he tried to poison them. As he was dying, he remembered how Dionysus taught him to care about the vine, and that one day a goat ate everything he has planted and grown with love and devotion. Angry, Icarus killed the goat, skinned it and invited other people to dance around it. At the moment of death, he realized that by killing the goat, he actually hurt himself. His daughter Aragon with her dog Mira, found her father's body under a tree and hanged herself over him. The dog stayed there sad for his owner, until he was dead too. But the story doesn't end here. Since Dionysus was so angry because of this unjust act, he punished Athens by making all of the city's maidens commit suicide in the same way, until the shepherds who killed Icarus were finally found and punished. The connection between the Virgo myth and the Virgo zodiac sign. The most important link between these two myths is in the stupidity and ignorance of the human race. All of the actors in both myths have finished in the sky, one way or the other, because of the lack of gratitude and people of low moral and intellectual traits. There is an image of an educated person whose knowledge is not valued. There is a tragedy in the myth of Virgo, one that can be moved through generations of women, until the source of the problem is solved. We often assume that Virgo is a sign of lonely women who sacrifice for a higher cause, and this is in close correlation to these stories. There is not love story in the sign of Virgo, except the one that includes family and a woman's love for her father. This constellation and the sign it was assigned to it, point to a relationship of a girl with her father that made her commit suicide, and this can often be a social or an emotional suicide, instead of a physical one. This tragic story carries an important lesson within, hidden in the last thought Icarus had. He understood that he signed his own fate by hurting another being, and even though a sacrifice of his life was made, there is a spiritual, enlightening moment in its end, a moment in which true value of any life is shown.